Good morning. Good morning. Please stand and welcome the color guards. And welcome Mr. Brown as he sings the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last waning bird, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so savage to see.
Please welcome to the stage our Mistress of Ceremony, Miss Rebecca Jones, Principal of Lincoln School. You may be seated.
I don't have a mic. Good morning. I was going to use my teacher voice, but I don't think that would have worked today. So thank you for the microphone. Good morning once again. My name is Rebecca Jones. I'm the principal of Lincoln School, and I am both honored and humbled to serve as the Mistress of Ceremonies for Mount Vernon High School's induction ceremony of the Honorable Judge William Edwards. At this time, we are going to have our welcome and opening remarks from our illustrious superintendent, Dr. Waveline Bennett-Conroy, Superintendent of Schools. Join me in welcoming her to the stage. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to the rebirth
of Mount Vernon High School Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Before I continue, I want to welcome each and every one of you today, especially our honored guests who are here. And there are too many to name, so I'll leave that for later. Although dormant for a while, induction into the Mount Vernon High School of Fame is an honor bestowed on our former alumnus of the school. In past years, the Mount Vernon High School of Fame inducted notables such as Dick Clark, Art Carney, Ken Singleton, Gus Williams, Ray Williams, Ben Gordon, E.B. White, and countless other famous alumni who once called Mount Vernon their home. As superintendent, it is truly an honor to posthumously induct Honorable Judge Edwards into the Hall of Fame. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." From the schoolboy playing in the schoolyard at Graham Elementary School, to the young adolescent sitting in the classroom of Nichols Junior High School, dreaming of the many possibilities that await to the first African-American young man to be ranked fourth out of over 700 seniors in his graduating class, creating inroads to the opportunities that lie outside of the four square walls of Mount Vernon he called home. Judge Edwards embraced his education experiences as milestones that influenced his decision and commitment to be a guardian and ambassador of our city. Judge Edwards was a true humanitarian, so much so that since his passing has left an endowment to the Mount Vernon City School District. It was his wish that the endowment to use to support his alma mater in creating opportunities for scholars, wanting the best for every child. Sir Sidney Poitier once said, "Living consciously involves being genuine. It involves listening and responding to others honestly and openly. It involves being in the moment." In planning our ceremony today, myself and the committee members, we spent time hearing many stories of Judge Edwards' life from his beloved wife, Helena. Judge Edwards personified Sir Sidney Poitier's sentiments by his genuine, humble persona, champion of underprivileged children, and truly present both as a husband, father, and grandfather. He was truly a servant leader, giving so much of his legal career in advocating for the rights of all. As you thumb through your program today, you will see the center two pages are entitled Legacy of Love and Legacy to Inspire. These have been the two themes that truly sum up the legacy Judge Edwards has left behind for us to follow. To leave a legacy of love means to have lived a life dedicated to being your true self with others. It means to live a life being humble, kind, present in the moment in the lives of others, and being a pillar others can count on to lift them up when life knocks you down. In leaving a legacy to inspire, Judge Edwards is challenging all of us to live a life impacting the virtues of honesty, social justice, advocacy, and service to others. During our ceremony today, you will hear from some of the closest friends, colleagues, and even his beloved wife, Helena, sharing anecdotes of how Judge William Edwards impacted their lives. The narratives will help you see how Judge Edwards personified both the legacy of love and the legacy of inspire. Our hope in the spring is to plant a rose bush to commemorate his legacy of love and fierce love for his beloved wife Helena at the garden of Graham Elementary School, and also to plant an oak tree at Mount Vernon High School that will stand firm and tall as a guardian of the schools and as a testament to his legacy to inspire our scholars. In closing, I would like to read a poem from the judge's homecoming ceremony entitled, "The Oak Tree." A mighty wind blew night and day. It stole the oak tree's leaves away, then snapped its boughs and pulled its bark until the oak was tired and stark. But still, the oak tree held its ground. While other trees fell around, the weary wind gave up and spoke. "How can you still be standing, oak?" The oak tree said, "I know that you can break each branch of mine in two, carry every leaf away, shake my limbs and make me sway. But I have roots stretched in the earth, growing stronger since my birth. You never touch them, for you see, they are the deepest part of me. Until today, I wasn't sure of just how much I could endure. But now I've found, with thanks to you, I'm stronger than I ever knew." Thank you. And with this oak tree poem, I live by this every day. So thank you so much, and I will turn over to the MC.
Please welcome to the stage the Denzel Washington Gospel Choir under the direction of Miss Angela Hall. Let's welcome back to the stage our Mistress of Ceremony, Miss Rebecca Jones.
And to call that excellent would be an understatement. Let's give the Denzel Washington School of Performing Arts Choir Let's give them another round of applause under the masterful direction of the choir director. At this time, we're going to move past our greetings from the board. They were not able to attend today, and instead we will have a dear colleague and friend, Dr. Natasha Hunter McGregor, the principal of Graham School, who will do the reading of the biography of the Honorable Judge William Edwards at this time.
Thank you. Good morning. I am the proud principal of Graham School, and it's an honor to share the bio of the late Honorable Judge William Edwards and to give homage to his wife, Miss Helena Edwards. The Honorable Judge William Edwards, who was fondly known by his family and friends as Bill, was born on February 8, 1957, to Dorothy Edwards Nee Clark and William Edwards Sr. Bill was an exceptional baby in cognitive development, and by the age of 2, it was already clear that he would make an outstanding mark on society. Bill was academically gifted and was reading as early as the age of 2. He attended Graham Elementary School in Mount Vernon, which held a particularly special place in his heart. He impressed his teachers at Graham and continued to shine throughout his academic life in the Mount Vernon public school system and beyond. After leaving Graham, he moved on to Nichols Junior High School, where he became the president of his class and was given the keys to the city of Mount Vernon by Mayor August P. Petrillo for his impressive performance on a special project representing the city. In accepting these keys to the city of Mount Vernon, Bill symbolically committed himself for life as guardian and ambassador to the city of Mount Vernon. He was motivated to excel, and he vowed to use all of his gifts and abilities to make Mount Vernon and its people a shining example. After leaving Nichols Junior High School, Bill attended Mount Vernon High School, where he continued to demonstrate that he was an academic giant from this tiny city of only 4 square miles, who was going to make his hometown shine. At Mount Vernon High School, he received the Humanitarian Award. He graduated Mount Vernon High School class of 1975 in the top 1% and was accepted to America's premier educational institutions, including Yale and Harvard. However, he accepted the offer to attend Williams College in Massachusetts as a Stephen P. Ting Scholar, which paid for his full 4 years as an undergrad at Williams College and 3 years of law school at Columbia University. At Columbia University, he was also the recipient of the NAACP Defense Fund Scholarship. Bill was a true humanitarian who wanted the best for everyone. He loathed injustice, and he was a fierce fighter against it. In his freshman year, he and his friend Kenny Walton, held a 2-man protest at Williams against the scholars' disparaging treatment of the Black students that was featured in the New York Times. Bill was loyal to his values and principles, and he never once considered money or any other material benefit above his integrity. At Columbia University, Bill was recruited by the CIA to join them, but he declined this very impressive invitation to keep his loyalty to his people in his hometown, Mount Vernon, an agreement that was symbolically entered into with Mayor August Petrillo at Nichols Junior High. Upon leaving Columbia University, Bill accepted a job with 32BJ in New York City. He wanted to be a champion for children who suffered from lack of financial support from absentee parents. No doubt, his own childhood was a major influence in his decision. He left 32BJ after a couple of years and went to work for New York City Department of Housing and Preservation, HPD. As a child, he experienced homelessness when his home was accidentally destroyed in a fire. Therefore, it was his duty to serve, ensuring that other families had safe and secure housing. It was while working as a managing attorney for HPD, Bill met the love of his life, Helena. Bill and Helena's relationship was not a fairy tale romance story. It began a friendship between two individuals who had similar values and principles. Bill would often tell Helena during their friendship that he was going to marry her. Helena always laughed and responded that he was crazy. Their friendship grew stronger and stronger. Bill began looking at engagement rings. Helena thought he was simply joking around, but she quickly realized that he was serious. Would ask the clerk to allow them to see a particular engagement ring he liked, then asked Helena if she liked it. After Helena said yes, Bill immediately told the clerk that he wanted the ring engraved with the words, "Billy loves Helen," and proceeded to finalize the purchase of the ring. It was only then Helena realized that Bill was serious. They were married 6 months later, July 3rd, 1993, at Macedonia's Church in Mount Vernon by one of Bill's former classmates at Mount Vernon High School. This union between Bill and Helen, as he affectionately called her, resulted in them raising 3 successful children together. Jethro, a mechanical engineer, Hillary, a registered nurse, and Diana, a software engineer. These children are the pride and joy for both Bill and Helena, their most valued achievements. Bill is a loyal friend. He would often joke that once an individual was declared to be a friend by him, it was a lifelong thing. There was no way to escape out of this relationship. Over the years, he has amassed many friends, to include, but not limited to, Dr. Albert George Thomas, friendship established at Graham Elementary School, Kenneth Kenny Walton, friendship established at Williams College, Edward Fernandez, friendship established at Columbia University, Cesar Estrada and his wife, Helena, friendships established at HPD, and Judge Peter Davis, friendship established in the Mount Vernon City Court. In 2003, Mayor Ernest Davis helped Bill to achieve his lifelong ambition in serving the people and city of Mount Vernon as a city court judge. Bill's tenure as a judge was not an easy feat, as he was often a one-man army, fighting to get the justice system to become more just and proper. He was an unwavering defender of justice, and his integrity could never be bought. On Monday, August 29, 2022, Bill elevated to becoming a guardian angel and ambassador to Mount Vernon in a greater and more divine realm. It's not ironic that he completed his task here in Mount Vernon in the month of August. That was simply his way of saying thank you to Mayor August P. Petrillo for entrusting him with the keys to the city of Mount Vernon. Bill's legacy is in righteousness, and he has been exalted. Although our hearts are filled with sadness, let us be comforted with the knowledge of how he made all those whose lives he touched better human beings. He has drawn us a road map in humanity. So let us honor him by continuing the work that he started in building and repairing families, protecting and providing for our children, being loyal to integrity, authenticity, justice, and humanity. Bill's life legacy has rendered him exceptionally deserving of the humanitarian award he received in Mount Vernon. We thank God for sharing the Honorable Judge William Edwards with us and honor him and his family for a job well done. Once again, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for that reading. What a distinguished life indeed. And as she was reading, I thought to myself, if we could only accomplish just a portion of what he did, how great we would be. Unbelievable. At this time, we are honored to have come up and welcome an address from the great city of Mount Vernon, our wonderful and esteemed Mayor Sean Patterson Howard. At this time, the mayor of the great city of Mount Vernon, please come up and offer your address at this time.
Good morning, Mount Vernon. It is a good morning indeed. Can you hear me? Okay. Since the beginning of the school year, as Dr. Pierce and Dr. Bennett Conroy have proclaimed, this is the new Mount Vernon High School. The new Mount Vernon High School. And I can't imagine anyone that is more befitting and appropriate to be the first inductee into the new Mount Vernon High School Hall of Fame than Judge Edwards. Judge Edwards, I had the opportunity to meet back in 2003 and work with when he became a city court judge in the city of Mount Vernon. I was still there as a young professional running the drug court. And Judge Edwards, everything that's been said about him and read about him in his biography is so true, and you're going to hear several of his friends speak about him as we move further into the program. But his passion, his dedication, his commitment to his family and to the people of Mount Vernon is unquestionable and unrivaled. As he sat on the bench, especially in landlord-tenant court, the lawyers got to know when they came before him, the lawyers for the landlords, don't come in here and think that I'm just going to bow and kowtow to the desires of the landlords. Judge Edwards challenged landlords. He wanted to make sure that housing was of the best quality. He would get up off the bench. He would get up off the bench. He would say, well, we're going to recess your case. You can come back either in the afternoon or later, because during lunch, I am going to go to this house. I am going to inspect it. I'm going to check it out. And if I come back and this home is not suitable for this family, especially these children, you're not going to only worry about not getting paid. I'm going to work with the building department to make sure you get fines and violations. And it takes a special person to do that. It's, I worked in the city court. Peter works, well, Judge Davis is a judge there. And it's the busiest court. It's the busiest court by far in Westchester. And so as a judge, to take time from the bench to investigate deeper into the stories that people are coming before you with, as a judge, to take time from the bench to really encourage and uplift and empower and strengthen those who were coming before you. If anyone's ever stood before a judge in court, whether it's for a traffic violation, landlord-tenant, a criminal matter, it is never easy, not even a simple traffic matter. No one wants to be in court, and it can be a time that you can tear people down. But he always used it as a time to edify, to educate, to correct as necessary, but also very importantly, to lift people up and give them direction. As I was serving there, he also took over the drug court and replaced Judge Brenda Dowry Rodriguez on the drug court. And the drug court was an alternative to incarceration for nonviolent substance using offenders. Some who were young and had just become addicted, others who became addicted at 16 and now are almost 60. And they were looking for a restart in their life. And whether it was education or substance abuse, mental health services, job training, Judge Edwards wanted to make sure that they had access to everything that was needed to get them back on the right track. And so we had over 100 agencies that were attached to the drug court. And when they graduated from the drug court, because it was a very, very rigorous program at the drug court, and some people it took 12 months, some people it took 18, but it was the first graduation that many of them had ever experienced because they didn't go to their high school graduation or didn't graduate. And so we would decorate the court with balloons, we would celebrate, we would get gift cards and checks and things so that they could be celebrated. And of course, Judge Edwards would make his macaroni and cheese. I mean, if you know Judge Edwards' macaroni and cheese, you have to clap at that because, you know, each of the judges and everyone within the court, we watched people come in, we watched their lives be transformed. They had to write in their journals, and the judge was responsible for reading every person in the drug court's journal. And he read their journal each week. He talked about what they were going through the bench. And I can tell you that so many people who graduated from that drug court program are now credentialed social workers and substance abuse counselors and housing and youth advocates. It was a transformational program. And I had the opportunity to do that work with him. And when you work alongside a person, you get to see who they are. Right? And so he made sure that when it was time to pick up Diana and Hillary from school, that he was there. When it was time to be there for his family, that he was there. He always spoke glowingly about his family and the love of his life. Helena loved his family unconditionally and so proud of everything that you did. As a father, he sewed in. As a husband, he sewed in, and he lived and loved unapologetically. He lived and loved out loud because that's who he was. And, you know, one of the last things I want to say is, you know, clearly he's a son of Mount Vernon, Graham Elementary, Nichols Middle School, got the key to the city from Judge Petrillo, went on to Mount Vernon High School, played basketball here, good trash talker. I don't know if his basketball was as good as his trash talking, but he was definitely a good trash talker. You would have to let me know that, Lowe's. Went on to, you know, Williams and received the Stephen P. Ting Scholarship. And it was just mentioned in here, but the Stephen P. Ting Scholarship is not a small thing. Not many people receive a 4-year scholarship, but to receive a 7-year scholarship, not just to the school that you're going to. The Stephen P. Ting Scholarship allowed him to get 4 years of education at Williams, but it also allowed him to choose wherever he wanted to go for his graduate studies. Not many people are going to say, oh, well, no, 7-year full educational ride. He went to Columbia Law School, graduated, as it was said, was asked to go and serve in the CIA, but because of his commitment to Mount Vernon, You know, when you don't understand the commitment to Mount Vernon, when you've been raised, when this has been the foundation of who you are, when you have been birthed here and you have been supported here and you have been corrected here by Miss Jones or Mr. Jenkins, when you have worshiped, when you have played in our playgrounds and when this community has loved on you, it's hard. It's hard to walk away. And so I look in the audience and I see many people, including myself, who've had every right and reason to walk away. But we've stayed committed to Mount Vernon because Mount Vernon was committed to us and served the foundation of who we've become. So thank you, Judge Edwards, for being an advocate. Thank you for being a fighter. Thank you for being a champion of justice. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a family man, a good husband, an excellent dad, an amazing role model. Thank you for investing in Mount Vernon. Thank you for, in heaven, shining and buffing and watching over the jewel of Westchester. And thank you so much to the gospel choir, because when they began to sing, "How excellent is thy name," God is excellent, but he teaches us to operate in excellence, and Judge Edwards operated in excellence, and he has earned his reward in heaven. Thank you so much for celebrating him. Thank you so much, Dr. Bennett Conroy, the committee, Dr. Pierce, for inducting him in the Hall of Fame. And thank you at this time for understanding, at this crossroads of Mount Vernon, it was important to bring it back, because we know how to celebrate others, but oftentimes we tear down ourselves, and it is time for us to begin to celebrate ourselves, because if we don't celebrate ourselves in this community, no one will. Thank you for recognizing his strength, and God bless.
Let us welcome to the stage the Macedonian Church Choir.
Thank you. Praise the Lord. Let's give Macedonian Church another round of applause. Hallelujah. That was wonderful. And at this time, we have friends and family and loved ones who would like to share some memories and reflections that they have of Judge Edwards. And of course, we know you probably have so many memories you'd like to share, but we do ask that in the interest of time, that we keep them short and sweet. We will have first up Judge Peter Davis, followed by Dr. Kim Smith, then Dr. Albert G. Thomas, and last but not least, Dolores Mack. At this time, Judge Peter Davis, please come up.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Judge William Edwards. There's so much that each and every one of us could say about him. And certainly, Judge Edwards was not a man of few words. Judge Edwards called himself the teaching judge in Mount Vernon City Court. And I wouldn't be standing before you here as a judge if it wasn't for Judge Edwards. I feel blessed to follow in his footsteps, but Judge Edwards inspired me. From the moment that I met him as a defense attorney, we clashed. And I battled Judge Edwards constantly as a defense attorney and repeatedly lost. If someone were to say that he was 1% top of his class, I would say, given the opportunity, he would have been 1% in the United States as far as judges was concerned. Given the opportunity, such was his intellect, such was his drive, such was his knowledge. And Mount Vernon High School, as I was walking down the hallway, I saw the banners of the colleges, and we refer to many universities as being institutions of higher learning. And if that's the case, certainly Mount Vernon High School would be the conduit, would be the bridge by which you get to higher learning. And Judge Edwards is evidence of that. He went on to top schools, and he reminded us each and every day on the bench that he went to Columbia, and that he was the smartest person in the courtroom at any given time. And it wasn't a brag, but it was an acknowledgement of who he was as a person and as a judge. And I believe that the theme, legacy to inspire, when you talk about Judge Edwards, as far as being a man, if there is a checklist, you would be able to check off every box for him as a measure of a man. As a husband, as a father, as a judge, as a civic leader, as somebody who loved his community, as somebody who engaged in a lifetime of public service. Those are the things that Judge Edwards only began to represent, but he was so much more. As he called himself the teaching judge, in order to be a teaching judge, you have to be a student first. And Judge Edwards was a student not only of the law, which is constantly evolving, complex and ever-changing, but he was a student of life. And he would impart lessons from the bench. He would impart lessons to me personally. And he was also somebody who very much disliked bullies. And he stood up for the downtrodden. He stood up for the indigent. He stood up for people who could not stand up for themselves. And when I found myself in need of an ally, Judge Edwards went out of his way to stand up for me. And I embraced him for it, and he embraced me. And he became family to me. And I'm forever indebted for Judge Edwards. He has inspired me to be in a position to do for Mount Vernon from the bench, to attempt to do right by people, by litigants, to show compassion, to show patience, to look upon people out in the audience as though they're family, to look at litigants as though they're family, and treat them with the respect that they deserve. And that's how Judge Edwards went about being a judge. So, the Friday before Judge Edwards passed, he came into my chambers, and I remember when he sat down and we had a conversation. And I remember the glow in his eyes as he remarked how he was going with Helena to Washington, D.C. on a trip that they had planned to the Library of Congress. And he was looking for this volume that had this obscure piece of information, and it was like the holy grail of knowledge. And I remember how joyous he was when he was talking about it. And that was quintessential Judge Edwards, because he remained a student throughout his lifetime. And that's something that even though we achieve and we reach certain stations in life, that we have to remember to do. And I think that embodied who Judge Edwards was, because he was always seeking new trails of knowledge to pass on to all of us. And he was a repository of intellect and knowledge, and he always seemed to know the right thing to do immediately. But that is something for me, in terms of legacy to inspire, it would be to be a student throughout your lifetime. And that's my memory of Judge Edwards. I miss him, I love him, and I hope to one day be in a position to half fill his shoes, because I know I can never fully fill them. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, our superintendent, the mayor, family and friends of Judge William Edwards, district staff, and the Mount Vernon community. My name is Dr. Kim Smith, and I am Assistant Superintendent for Pupil Personnel Services within the Mount Vernon City School District. It is a great pleasure that I have been afforded the opportunity to share a few memories of Judge William Edwards. Bill and I grew up around the corner from each other here in Mount Vernon. He resided on Elliott Street, close to Columbus Avenue, and I grew up on East 5th Street, a block away from Columbus Avenue. We lived in the Heights. We both attended Graham Elementary School, Nichols Middle School, and we graduated from Mount Vernon High School in the class of 1975. He was born February 8th, 1957, and I was born February 9th, 1957. About 15 years ago, I attended a Christmas party that was given by the former district's attorney. It was at this event that I ran into Bill and his wife, Helena. Bill introduced me to her, and I introduced him to my friend, Dr. Annette Parchment Pennant. That night, I realized two things. Bill looked exactly the way he did in high school and as I remembered him, and he had an excellent memory. He shared that during the 8th grade, I was the class president for the first half of the school year, and he was the class president for the second. Several people have referenced that. But what was amazing is, I remember the story slightly different. I thought I was the president for the entire school year until he corrected me on that. I was surprised because I boasted to my kids forever. I was a class president, trying to encourage them to do other things. But I must say, I did become the class president of our 9th grade, and that was for the full year. I then proceeded to tell Annette and Helena that Bill ranked number 10 out of over 700 students in our graduation class. Once again, Bill corrected me. He reminded me that he ranked number 4. I got that wrong too, of the class of 1975. And I must say, that was a tremendous honor back then. For those of you who were here back in the 70s, the demographics was so different. And imagine what it must have been to be ranked number 4 in that class when we were so few at that particular time. Another thing that I realized that day, Bill was no longer that quiet, shy student that I remembered, as he was now Judge Edwards. He engaged in a conversation and schooled me in so many ways, and I remember not only that, he tag teamed with his wife. She would tell her story, he would tell his story, and I sat there thinking that this is not the person that I grew up with, and I grew up around the corner from him in the Heights. He used to pass my house to walk to school. I lived right across the street from Graham School, and I don't remember hearing 10 words from him in 12 years. But I heard a lot from him that day. Several years later, I would run into Bill again, but But this time, I was with my family, and we entered the family court, whereas Bill was the sitting judge. That day in 2010, I adopted 3 of my children. Following the official procedures, Bill closed the court, came down from the bench, and proceeded to tell my family what a great student and wonderful person I was. And I felt at the time, and that must be true because Bill is saying that, and he had an awesome memory. After telling my children how lucky they were to have me as a parent, he embraced us, and he took pictures with us. We savored that memory. It was an awesome day because of Judge William Edwards. Yes, Bill made that day very special for us, and eventually I received the adoption papers signed by the Honorable Judge William Edwards. Unfortunately, that would be the last time that I saw Bill. For this reason, I am delighted to be a part of this wonderful occasion to honor and recognize Bill as the outstanding product of the Mount Vernon City School District and the Mount Vernon City. I leave you with a poem titled In Love and Memory. The ones we love never go away. They walk beside us even on this day, unseen, unheard, yet always near, still loved, still missed, and very dear. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. The last time I was here wasn't when I graduated in 1975 with many of the members that have presented already, but I was here with Bill Edwards when we had a career day, probably in the 2000s here at Mount Vernon High School. And I just remembered that as we were driving into the parking lot this morning. But I'd just like to add a little bit of context to the already described memories that we each have of Bill Edwards. In the early 60s, I met Bill at Graham Elementary School. Golden brown colors true of the Minnie S. Graham School. His emotional courage and maturity and wit separated him from the pack. We became fast friends and decided that he would become a lawyer and I would become a doctor. He excelled academically, as we all know, and was recognized instantly as a star student. Bill's star continued to burn brightly at the Nichols Middle School. He honed his communication skills, which he dubbed as his rapability. That was Bill talk for the ability to communicate to others, and became class president with Kim. I'm just hearing this excellent rendition of some of the details I didn't know. We continue to be nurtured in our safe space by our teachers and the coaches who taught us the European name for football, which is actually soccer in our estimated opinion. And I remember the daily lunchtime breaks where we would trek down the Gramerton Avenue Circle from the middle school to buy ketchup-drenched French fries, and it seems like it was yesterday, because we thought that was brain food. It would help us for the afternoon to get through the rest of our classes. In the 70s, Billy continued to soar academically as his knowledge base rose exponentially at Mount Vernon High School, and it was demonstrated by his A+ GPA. No one was more able or willing to teach and mentor fellow students, so this was a lifelong ability that he had from the very beginning. His optimism was expressed as the half-full cup, and the recognition that each problem was merely a solution to be found. Our thinking was influenced by the growing empowerment of underserved folks who look like us with like-minded ideas that Black is beautiful and gifted. We were convinced that professional career pathways required skin in the game and hard work. We trusted the Mount Vernon Central School District's curricular activities as the pathway to output a diverse, curious student body willing and able to offer social solutions to those most in need. Play hard, but work harder. That was the winning balance that kept us motivated and at the same time sane. This balance continued and allowed our families, neighborhood friends, classmates, many of who are here today, and committed teaching staff to join us on this journey. While at the high school, Billy and I took as many advanced placement courses as possible to increase our GPAs, to improve our chances of entering the best institutions and universities. His superior intellect and quick analytical skills made him the ideal student and study buddy. He graduated in the top 0.1%. I actually recalculated, it's probably the top 0.05% in the Mount Vernon High School class of 75 as a U.S. National Merit Scholarship finalist, no small feat. Billy matriculated at Williams College, and I was at RPI. And though I was in upstate New York and he was in Massachusetts, we were able to cross-pollinate and visit each other. He always used his education and training to take care of the less fortunate. Fast forward to 2003, when Mayor Ernie appointed Billy to fill the opening city court judge position. Bill's work ethic and integrity as a judge was laudable. His commitments to mentor fellow lawyers was impactful. His ability to organize massive numbers of legal caseloads, decrease the backlogs, and streamline justice for those caught up in an unjust system. His lifelong commitment and his insistence on living in Mount Vernon allowed him to foster numerous relationships with thousands of like-minded folks without regard to social stratification. His jurisprudence and photographic memory allowed him to engage young folks everywhere with compassion, wit, and forgiveness that allowed for redemption and hope. In 2010, Mount Vernonites validated Judge William Edwards' stewardship of the bench by electing him to the essentially permanent position of Mount Vernon City Court Judge. When Bill asked me to serve as his campaign treasurer, I accepted. I was proud to see how his involvement with the drug courts actually made a difference in mitigating the discriminatory drug laws that failed to rehabilitate and did more harm than good. He was a man ahead of his time. Indeed, Judge Bill Edwards' lifelong dedication to academic excellence, jurisprudence, and lifelong service to Mount Vernon as the people's judge embodies those qualities deserved to be publicized on the Hall of Fame in Mount Vernon High School. It is proper and just and will serve as a continued inspiration for those young people who dream to serve our city, country, and world, as did our hero, Judge Bill Edwards. Thank you for listening and for your indulgence, and be safe and have a great holiday.
We are pleased to announce that former Mayor Ernie Davis has arrived, and he will come up at this time, followed by Dolores Smack.
How you like that for timing? Judge, my good friend, Judge Edwards, didn't lie. I got a call from Caitlin. Is Caitlin here? Where is she? And she said, "You're supposed to speak today." I said, "Where?" And I jumped in and dressed, and now I'm here. To the family, to friends assembled, to elected and appointed officials, and I arrive at this occasion wishing that I didn't have to be here on this occasion. But as I reflect on life, my life, and your life, it is supposed to happen this way. We don't know the time and the place, but we know that our time on this earth is not that long. Some candles are designed to burn for a long time, and some candles are designed to burn brightly, and Judge Edwards fits into the brightness category. Of course, there are many things you could say about this judge, but I personally knew him and his family, and we've had many talks, so I know him intimately. He was a child prodigy, a young man destined to make his mark in life. And everybody expected it, and he lived up to that expectation. I know Dr. Benjamin Mays had a poem that he said, it's an unknown poet, but he said, "I have but a minute, 60 seconds in it. Didn't choose it, but I suffer if I don't use it. It's only a tiny minute, but eternity is in it." Judge Edwards took the time that he had, and he was able to galvanize many people here and not here. He was a person that told the truth. He was honest, and he suffered sometimes for it. But those who are emissaries here have the obligation to go back into your community and make sure that you live out the legacy and the path that he laid for us. I myself, I lost my hearing aid, so I don't hear nothing that you're going to say. But I hope to straighten that out. But when I look at Mount Vernon, and I look at the leadership, and I look at the fellowship, we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of truth to be told. And we have a lot of paths to be deterred and move in the right direction. How will Mount Vernon fare? It's up to us. Thank you, Judge Edwards. I'll see you in a little while. Thank you so very much.
Mr. Lawrence back at this time. I want to give an honor to the Creator. We have tools to work with, you know, to make us succeed in life. And I got to recognize one of those tools because I'm quite sure Billy, I call him Billy. Billy was a former student of hers, and that's she's a former teacher, and she was our school superintendent, Dr. Brenda Smith. She was one of those tools that nurtured Billy Edwards, so we got to give her a hand. My name is Dolores Mack. I'm born, homegrown here in Mount Vernon, born and raised here. Except I went to Grimes School, Billy went to Graham. Billy's first term, he came to me and asked me would I nominate him at the Democrat headquarters to serve his first term as city court judge. I've been a district leader in the city for 47 years, active for about 47 years. 47 years. Yeah, 47 years. Sat on many boards, nominated many people, and I said, you gotta be special to me for me to climb the board and see at the Democrat headquarters to nominate you, a second nomination. The mayor knows that. One thing I asked Billy when he said he wanted to run for city court judge, that he wanted to, he could feel like he could do more for the citizens of the city of Mount Vernon. I told him that, you know, during the campaign, the first thing that we done was we had a little party at the house. It was back in, it was in June. I remember the month, June, my birthday's in June. And I said, Billy, give me a little party. And I wrote out an invitation, said, no, you just come have a barbecue at a friend's house. I put those people to work. I know who lives in apartment buildings. I was born here in Mount Vernon. I know who lives in apartment buildings, whose knows he's always on the phone. We got to work at my birthday party and make sure Billy got to come, you know, city court judge. I wouldn't watch him one time, and you know, I sat in the back and he got on the mic and said, the court won't recognize Dolores Mack, and I yelled out, for what? And I was just there watching, you know. I said, for what? So he put the mic down and asked me to come up there. I ain't gonna tell you what he told me. But anyway, I know Billy was a good judge and a good human being because if you were down Remington Avenue, usually at night court evening, Billy was down there buying food for his employees at Pizza King. That he did all the time. I'm so glad that the committee bestowed his honor on him because he is, like the old spiritual said, he is worthy to be praised. Because like I said, he came back to the city and he gave. And I know if I'm still living and breathing, Billy's name is not going to be forgotten in the city. It's not. Helena, you've been a good wife. Hillary, Diana, and Jeffro, he loved Joe to death, you'll know that. And Billy, your 65 years on this earth was good, but God has plans for you until we meet again. Thank you. Let's welcome back to the stage, Mr. M. Bryant.
sunshine that you're wearing, you always want to step behind. I was the one with all the glory. You were the one with all the strength. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A beautiful face without a name for so long. A beautiful smile to hide the pain. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You ever know you were my hero? Everything I would like to be. Yeah, yeah. I can fly higher than an eagle. My, 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 my. You are the wind beneath my wings. Yeah, yeah. Might have appeared to go unnoticed. I've got it all here in my heart. I want you to know I know the truth. I would be nothing without you. Ooh, you ever know you were my hero. Everything I wished I could be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can fly higher than an eagle. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You are the wind beneath my wings. Did I ever tell you you're my hero? Everything I wish I could be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can fly higher than a hero. Yeah, 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 yeah. You are the wind beneath my wings. I wanna fly, wanna fly, wanna fly. Thank God for you, the wind beneath my wings. Oh, fly, yeah, yeah, yeah. Fly, ooh, fly. Thank God for you, you the wind beneath my wings. I wanna tell you that it's you, the wind beneath my wings. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I said that it's you, the wind beneath my wings. Oh, you, the wind beneath my wings. Oh, you, the wind beneath my wings. Thank God for you. Thank God for you, the wind beneath my wings. My life with you.
welcome to the stage 11th grade high school student, Brittany Sinclair.
Good morning, everyone. We are Mount Vernon Strong, building community, cultivating character, inspiring excellence. The Honorable Judge William Bill Edwards exemplified these attributes, and his legacies tell the greater story. Building community. With integrity, compassion, and resilience, leading with a progressive force for change, Judge Edwards was always striving for better days. For the youth of this here community, the sky was limitless. Cultivating character, humility, the beginning of wisdom, a trait he never lacked. As he got older, his wisdom overflowed, leading him to the greatness we now know. A humanitarian who dedicated his entire life to this community and its people, Judge William Edwards seeked only the best. Injustice shook when his fair spirit was ready to contest. Inspiring excellence, oh, his work is one for the books. Excelled at Columbia University, Williams College, and our very own Mount Vernon High School. And to top it off, he became a guardian angel and ambassador to Mount Vernon. One of his greatest achievements, if not the greatest, was starting a family with the love of his life, Elena, and together raised 3 beautiful and successful children, Jethro, Hillary, and Diana Edwards. The Honorable Judge William Bill Edwards was entrusted with the keys to the city of Mount Vernon and did us proud, to say the least. His legacy will never be forgotten. His story will be shared over and over again. A kind soul, respected by all, the Honorable Judge William Bill Edwards. So we, at the new Mount Vernon High School, are proud to induct Judge Edwards into the Hall of Fame, as the heavens are rejoicing for the honorable, noble, and excellent man he was. His legacy continues to also be. Thank you.
Thank you, Brittany. That was beautiful. And at this time, please join me as we offer a warm and loving welcome. Please stand to Helena Edwards, who at this time will offer words of inspiration on behalf of her husband, the Honorable Judge William Edwards. At this time, let us all greet her with a warm welcome.
Good morning, Mount Vernon. First, I would like to thank Miss Brenda Crump, who I am told brought the idea to the great Superintendent, Dr. Bennett Conroy, to extol upon my husband, a great man of integrity, this wonderful honor. I would like to thank the superintendent and her staff for making this idea a reality. I would like to thank everyone who worked on the committee, who have done such an amazing and awesome job. I also would like to thank the school board trustees who voted to approve the resolution to make this happen. Thank the Mount Vernon community at large from the ground up with their thunderous support of my husband. They are the deep roots that held him together. They kept him affixed firmly on the ground. When the winds blew, when the storms came, they held him up. Thank you. Today, Mount Vernon is shining because one of Mount Vernon's own decided that he was going to commit his life to doing the right thing always. He was a man of integrity. God blessed me when he sent him my way, and for that, I am grateful. It hasn't been easy. Anyone who is involved with any political endeavors will tell you that. Some days I wanted to just pack up and leave because I'm not from Mount Vernon, but my husband wouldn't hear of it. It was as if I married Mount Vernon when I married my husband. I would ask him, can we leave, please? Just let's go someplace where we can have peace and get away from all of this. You don't need this. He says, when I retire, we would move. But he never retired. On August the 28th, 2022, my husband and I had one of the most amazing dates that we have ever had, because our meeting was not one of a sort of romantic kind of attraction between us. It was more a meeting of the mind. Working at HPD every day, I would post a thought for the day, and I would have these people come by to read them. And one day he came by. I had an Ann Landers piece posted, and he said, I collect Ann Landers. And I thought he was just another guy trying to put the moves on me, because I had those every day. I had to try to back them, give them fake names, fake telephone numbers, do everything that I could to try to get them off me, Pac-Man, you know. So I said, you're right, when he said, I collect Ann Landers. The next day he came with a stack of cutouts. The proof, I was embarrassed, too embarrassed to say anything because I didn't trust him. and our first meeting, and I felt so bad. After that time, we developed a friendship, and we became thick as thieves, as they would say. I wrote something so that I didn't come up here and look too awful. My husband was a righteous man. He believed in God. He believed in doing the right thing. He believed in service to God by serving God's creation, God's people, and he lived that. Proverbs 14:34 says, righteousness exalted a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Today, we are here to exalt the beautiful city of Mount Vernon through one of its native sons, Judge Bill Edwards, who practiced righteousness. He was indeed a righteous man. He lived in accordance with moral and ethical laws and principles. He loved the Creator and was an ardent protector, provider, and servant of God's creation. All God's creation, red, white, yellow, blue, all, none excluded. As we gather here today, I want each and every one of us to reflect on the characteristics that made Judge Edwards worthy of this wonderful recognition. We know he was a brilliant mind, and I was very much attracted to his mind. Can't tell you our discussions. We didn't always agree, by the way, for those people who might have thought that, because we were raised differently, but we pretty much had the same basic decency in supporting what was right. We valued integrity. He received his foundational education within the Mount Vernon school system, beginning at Graham Elementary and completing here at Mount Vernon High School. But we must look beyond his brilliance, because there are other brilliant individuals who have graced this place, but Judge Edwards was unique in a commitment to humanitarianism, justice, and service to his people. A wise individual once said, "Charity begins at home." Judge Bill Edwards, via his deeds, have left us a great blueprint on how each one of us can lift Mount Vernon like the phoenix out of the ashes to becoming that great shining city on a hill. If we just emulate him in righteousness, in a commitment to humanitarianism, and in service, I challenge each and every one of us today to continue the work that Judge Edwards championed in practicing righteousness, humanitarianism, and service to our communities. Thank you so very much for your hospitality, for your support, for your kindness, and your continued love to me and my family. Thank you so very much.
Dr. Brenda Smith doesn't need any introduction, but Dr. Beasley wanted me to let you know she's going to have a special presentation at this time.
Thank you very much. Would you please come forward, Dr. Bennett Conroy? Mrs. Edwards, as we all know, to whom much is given, much is required and expected. And Judge Edwards was indeed brilliant, and he was not braggadocious. I can recall Dolores when he was here. He was so brilliant, and he would help anyone, any students who needed assistance. He was so great. And Dr. Bennett Conroy, thank you very much for allowing me to present these flowers to Mrs. Edwards on behalf of the Mount Vernon City School District, and know that I am just, has been wonderful, and to God be the glory. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Brenda Smith, Mount Vernon. Woo! All right, let's give 3 cheers for these great women, Dr. BC and Dr. Brenda Smith. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. How about Mayor Ernest Davis? Hip, hip. Hip, hip. How about Mayor Sean? Hip, hip. Thank you, Mount Vernon. We fight, but I tell you one thing we have in common is that we love Mount Vernon. I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that student, Brittany, oh my goodness, wasn't she awesome?
At this time, you are welcome to the stage. Denzel Washington School of the Arts, under the direction of Ms. Kalila Hines, a Mount Vernon graduate, Mount Vernon High School.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. Nothing's gonna trouble the water. Why don't you wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. Nothing's gonna trouble the water. She laying on the line. Nothing's gonna trouble the water. Oh, ain't nothing like the man on the hills on the line. Nothing's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Nothing's gonna trouble the water. See that man on trusted rain. It looks like the man that moves his legs. January,
Now let's give them another round of applause. Our student dancers from Denzel Washington School of the Arts. We're coming to the near end of our program, but before we do, we have a presentation of proclamations from our very own Derek Thompson, the President of the City Council. Join me in welcoming him up at this time.
Praise the Lord, everybody. One more time, praise the Lord, everybody. Because even in a time like this, we ought to give God some praise, amen? He is still worthy to be praised. I'm City Council President Derek Thompson here in Mount Vernon, New York. I bring you greetings on behalf of the entire body of the council. Our county legislator, Tyree Woodson Samuels, couldn't be here today, but he sends his love to the family, he sends his greetings, and he says that he loves you, and he'll always be there for you, so God bless the family as well. This is a proclamation from Tyree Woodson. It says, whereas throughout its history, one of Westchester's most precious natural resources has been the strength of its people. Strength measured in pride and community, commitment that has enabled the county to grow and prosper. And whereas today, December 17th, 2022, pays tribute to Honorable William Edwards in recognition for his hard work and dedication to the community, whom passed away on August 28th, 2022 at the age of 65. And whereas Honorable William Edwards graduated from Williams College in 1979 and received his Juris Doctorate degree from Columbia University School of Law in 1983, long before I got here. Proudly served on the Mount Vernon City Court since 2003. He was a proud father of Mount Vernon and a staunch defender of the people. He was known to talk the talk and walk the walk of the streets of Mount Vernon, praising those who did right, especially young people. And whereas he believed in a system that was fair and just, he presided over cases in the Mount Vernon court system for almost 20 years and earned the respect of everyone who came across his presence. He was a fountain of wisdom for those who seeked it, and a source of inspiration for those that needed it. Therefore be it, it says therefore be it whereas, but it should be therefore be it resolved that Westchester County Board of Legislators Tyree Woodson Samuels and congratulating Honorable William Edwards and thank him for his outstanding contributions to saving lives and dedication, and be it further resolved that December 17th, 2022 be hereby proclaimed Honorable William Edwards Day in Westchester County, and be it further resolved that the text of this proclamation be carried throughout the county for all people of good will to forever know. God bless the family. And then we also have the resolution. It's a lot of reading. Whereas throughout its history, our county's most precious natural resources has been in the strength of people and strength that is measured in community pride and community commitment that enables our country to grow and prosper. And whereas Almighty God in his divine wisdom took from our presence Honorable William Edwards, who passed away on August 28, 2022 at the age of 65, and whereas Honorable Edwards graduated from Williams College in 1979 and received his Juris Doctorate degree from Columbia University School of Law in 1983, and whereas Honorable William Edwards proudly served on the Mount Vernon City Court since 2003, he was a proud father of Mount Vernon and a staunch defender of the people. He has known to walk the streets of Mount Vernon, praising those who did right, especially young people. So it's very similar to the actual proclamation. So God bless the family. We love you, we love you, we love you. And one of my fondest memories, Judge Edwards was one of the only judges I heard use the term diddly squat. So if you ever were in the courtroom and you didn't hear diddly squat, you didn't really know Judge Edwards. But he used diddly squat, and I've seen many people walk away from the courtroom. If Judge Edwards wasn't on the bench, they would turn around and say, we're going to come back another day, because they knew when Judge Edwards was there, they want to get a fair hearing, and they were going to get a fair trial. So God bless you, Helena. God bless the family. God bless Judge Edwards. He is truly missed.
And am I to understand that the mayor also has the proclamation at this time? Join me as we welcome up Mayor Sean Patterson Howard to offer her proclamation as well.
So I did speak earlier, but on behalf of really the over 100,000 residents of the city of Mount Vernon, we offer this proclamation to the family. And it has a lot of whereases, and it's in small print because Helena gave us so much information. But the last whereas says, whereas now therefore I, Sean Patterson Howard, Mayor of the city of Mount Vernon, New York, along with all the citizens, do hereby deem it an honor to extend this proclamation to the family of Judge William Edwards for his service to the city of Mount Vernon. We recognize his status as a native son of the city, a graduate of Mount Vernon High School, and a lifelong resident with decades of service. I wholly endorse and congratulate Judge Edwards' induction into the Mount Vernon High School Hall of Fame. Let us all honor him by continuing the work he started in building and repairing families, protecting and providing for our children, being loyal to integrity, authenticity, justice, and humanity. We celebrate him, we love him, we're going to miss him, but we will continue to honor him through our service. And we will let you know this week we will be featuring him on the Memorial Field billboard in honor, and on Arbor Day in the end of April or right at the beginning of May, and we'll let you know that exact date, we will also be planting an oak tree, because the oak tree's roots grow deep and they help us to know that we've had strength that we never knew. Thank you so much.
Thank you to our mayor. And thank you to everyone who has joined us for this most auspicious occasion today. We are wrapping up this portion of the ceremony. We are asking at this time that the lovely wife of the Honorable Judge William Edwards and his family and her friends, and those who are along with Dr. Bennett Conroy and her cabinet, please proceed to the Hall of Fame where the wonderful principal of the new Mount Vernon High School, Dr. Pauline Pierce, will at that time give words for the induction. And everyone else can head to the cafeteria straight across from this venue here, and then we will all be together afterwards in fellowship and break bread with one another. Thank you to the committee and to everyone. And at this time, we're going to end this portion of the service. Thank you.